power using the chant.
Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma.
Well, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this program, the Living Shakti Summit. And I am so delighted to have the honor and pleasure to be interviewing Kadambari from India, who is currently at Ma's ashram. And just so grateful that we can share these interviews to celebrate Navratri. Can you, Kadambari, please introduce yourself to us?
Thank you so much for being the host for this summit. I really appreciate that. And it's so wonderful to have this opportunity to share with people Ma's teachings and her work here in India and the devotion of her followers and the fact that we're now publishing her works on Amazon. So I'm quite excited about that. And my name is Kadambari Maa. I came to this ashram here in Haridwar to meet Ma in 2011, and she asked me to come back and serve her here. So 2012, I came back again. At the time, I was living in New Zealand, and I had been on a spiritual path for a long time, meditating, and I was serving at a meditation center in New Zealand. So I came back here to Haridwar, and I was given Sannyas initiation, which means to become a renunciate, basically, take vows of renunciation. And that was February 2012. And then I've been out of India a couple of times, but I've pretty much been here since 2012. So it's quite a few years now. And Ma has a few small ashrams in different places. I did spend a couple of months up in the Himalayas meditating in the first year I came, actually, and a couple of months in Maharashtra in a small village a couple of times. But the last few years I've been pretty much in Haridwar and staying in this ashram. And at the end, if we get a chance, I might go outside and just give you a 2-minute tour.
Wow, that would be fantastic. Wow, just I'm amazed at hearing about your journey and your devotion, and I'm wondering if you could tell us more about what led you to make the decision to be with Ma and to be at the ashram and to be a renunciate.
Well, it's hard to really say there was a lot of planning on my part. So I think this is probably what living Shakti means, to be following your destiny and to listen to the impulses as they come and embrace them. And it is not easy to always embrace these things as they come. There's also resistance at times to think that you don't really want to do something that seems obvious that it's meant to happen because of, various backgrounds that we carry with us. And so I've had a struggle like that. But when I first met Ma in 2011, I just felt like, oh my God, this is the feeling of unconditional love that I'd been searching for my whole life, you know, and all souls are searching for this higher love, this unconditional love. And I really felt it then. It was like a deep connection. And Mars tells you things also about yourself that makes you realize she can see into your past and your future. You know, when you take sannyas, you get a new name and basically new clothes, a new identity. And Ma has given spiritual names to other people, you know, basically seeing into your future to give you this higher vision of who you are, you know, that you still have to find out and realize. But, you know, the path is sort of already set out for you and destined. And so I would say it unfolded, sometimes with me willingly going along and sometimes resisting. So it's been an exciting ride, and I feel like the time is really opening up now. You know, I've been here for 8 or 9 years, or 10 so, and it's been, you know, a journey of getting in touch with myself and healing myself at different levels. And service is one of the big ways to do that, you know, using your body and serving the mission, serving the saints and gurus, serving the community, serving nature, and all this selfless service is a very profound way to work through these issues, you know, of the past and the ego and anger and various things. So I don't see Ma all the time. She's a very busy person and she's here and there. In the beginning, I'd spent more time with her. I was traveling on different tours that she went on and doing a lot more like that. The last few years, I've tended to stay here and just be in the ashram when Ma's gone. And she's not here at the moment. So we're just carrying on. Ma's in another state at the moment. So, yeah, I guess that's how it happened. I mean, taking sannyas came from Ma. That's not something that you tend to ask for. It's something that you're deemed to be ready for. Now, I can't say I was ready, but my attachment to the material world is probably not as strong as most people. I'm nearly 65, so, you know, I'm at that stage of life where taking sannyas, renouncing worldly life, is actually a natural progression on this path that, you know, you go through your life and you acquire things, you have your family, you enjoy life, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing all that. And you're still fulfilling your destiny and doing your karma and your dharma. But at some point, you know, it's like you've gone, okay, I'm done with that. And now I really want to go inside and know who I am before this body drops away. And realizing that is the goal of human life. And that's what Ma is really helping us to accomplish.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, and so powerful in your decision and to really dedicate yourself to that inner knowledge. Yeah. I'm wondering if you can share more about your devotional practices. I know that one of the things I've really appreciated since coming to know Ma more is that we all are able to show our devotion in different ways and through different methods, and wondering if you can share some of how your devotion comes out.
Yes, devotion is key to this path, and it's like bhakti, which means this expression of love for creation and the creator, and combining that with discipline, you know, it's not a forced discipline, but a disciplined lifestyle, you know, so that your devotion is based in an ethical life, and that you're clear on your purpose and goal. So that's how I see how bhakti fits in this devotional practice, that it's a means of healing, expressing. A lot of people, women particularly, get quite sort of shut off in their expression. And to sing in front of other people is a very hard thing in the West in these times, Being in India helps with that because more people are more natural with that. But yeah, I would like, actually, that led me to say one of the new books, Petals of Wisdom,
Yes.
the page that I wanted to highlight talks about the key practices of the path. And so I just want to read them and then I can talk from there. So the first one here is satsang, which means true association. And this provides knowledge. So, being, even just talking with you now is like satsang. It's we're sitting together in truth and calling in the divine energies that we're both, connected to. And that becomes satsang, where we're true association. Then yajna, which means sacrifice. It's also called homa or havan, fire ceremonies. This gives strength and vitality. So by doing these fire ceremonies, it's purifying the fire element, it's purifying and giving us vital energy. Seva, I just talked about selfless action. This nullifies the effect of our previous actions or karma. So the seva is really important. And that can also be a form of bhakti, that you're seeing God in everyone, and whatever you're doing, it's for the divine. And then dharma, righteousness, it's the path we have to take to liberation, or they call it moksha here. So we need to tread the right path if we want to reach the destination. Sangeet, and this is where I resonate, music and song and dance. This activates the power of expression. I think it's also very healing for our emotional traumas, and emotions are like energy that we have trapped in our system. And by singing kirtan, I like kirtan, by singing kirtan and having a joyous communal singing practice, or even alone, I can get into it, is it's like it opens up the heart. You're singing these holy names, you're allowing the energy to move, there's this flow, and it's a way of expressing ourselves in a divine way, instead of just crying or laughing or yelling or whatever emotion is sort of stuck there. By chanting these names and doing it regularly, it actually starts to shift these angry or sad or whatever feelings that we might have in our system. So I can vouch for that. And I like to play the harmonium, I like to chant, I play frame drum now, and I like the rhythmic aspect of it. And I like to dance. I'm not in any way trained as a dancer, but just the expression of bhakti through movement, through music and dance. So that's Sangeet. And then, of course, that leads to Dhyan Yoga, which is meditation. And the point is, bhakti leads into meditation, because when your mind is calm and free and your heart is happy and everything becomes sort of still and empty, and then a natural form of meditation comes. And I see this to be Srima Yoga, how Ma presents it, that we need meditation because it says in the book, Dhyan Yoga, meditation leads to truth, to Sachkhand, to Satlok. It leads to the abode of truth. So we need that inner introspection and contemplation and silence and one-pointed focus and awareness. And that leads us to the truth behind reality. And all these expressions we have, dancing and fire ceremonies and seva, they're all outer meditations. And through those outer meditations, we purify our mind, our body, our environment. We're accruing good karma by doing good actions. We're clearing our karmas and healing ourselves on various levels, and calling in the grace of the Guru, the grace of God, to help us on the path. because grace is a big factor. And the
Mm.
last one is Guru, Shakti, the power of the Guru, which is knowledge and grace. And this turns darkness into light. Basically, it's taking us from this state of ignorance where awareness comes and we start to see reality as it is.
Mm.
So, yeah, bringing in my favorite practices, but I actually do all of them at different times and struggle with some of them, but they're all key practices. And the one that gives me the most joy and healing is music.
Yeah. Yeah, the opening music that you played for us was so beautiful and felt like I could just feel all of that, all of the bhakti and meditation and devotion within it. So, yeah, yeah, thank you for sharing your gifts with us. I was wondering too if you can talk a little bit more about the coming of the new age. I know that many Sant Gurus have talked about the ages and the age of Kali Yuga and the Enlightenment age, and maybe it's here now or it's coming, depending on where we are. But if you could talk about that and the role of Shakti, how you see that playing out either for yourself or in Ma's mission.
Yeah, that's a very big question, isn't it? And it's something that will reveal itself, no doubt. Ma, as our guide and guru, and also the example of living in that state of enlightenment, she really is above the way we see the world, and she sees everything from a different, from the inner eye, basically, seeing it from a different perspective. So Ma doesn't speak in detail, I guess, about these things. So you have to glean it, I guess, from what you hear, because as you say, it depends on where you are. I think it really is the individual process that we go through. Be the change in the world you want to see. We all know that. And there's a very well-known quote from India, from the Vedic tradition, that the world is as you see it. It becomes what you choose to see it to be. So it's like we create our own reality, and how we choose to see the world becomes the world for us. So the early stages of being on a path like this is to start to recognize the things that we're doing and to get that awareness. It's always about cultivating our own awareness to see how our mind is working, to see the way we project our own thoughts and ideas and traumas and pain and everything onto the world, and then multiply it and receive it all back in magnified, proportions. So we have to start with ourselves. And like I say, these key practices, they help us slowly. I mean, I've been here in India for 10 years, and Ma said she took 7 lifetimes to reach the state she did. So it is, a lifelong thing, and we'll all reach something by the time we come to the end of our life. And we just need to be the judge of that for ourselves. What is right and what is wrong in the West is very much a black and white thinking. What is truth and what is not truth? What is compassion? What is not compassion? These are all black and white ideas, even though they're hard to define. And in the East, in India, it's not black and white. It's like truth. Truth has to be tempered by non-violence, by doing no harm. So there's truth is not just blatantly, upsetting everybody by, saying this, and this. There's ways to do it. And I think, once we've understood that and started to inculcate those changes in how we do things and how we see things and how we treat people and how we treat ourselves and how we see ourselves, because Shakti is an energy, and the Shakti is all around us. We're breathing it in. It's doing everything in our life, and it's running our body, and it's our mind as well. So it's everywhere in different levels. You know, there's the ultimate Shakti, which is, you know, the supreme Shakti, but then there's all these other levels of power and energy running our life. So I guess it's just cultivating awareness, you know, and having forgiveness for ourselves when we feel like we've fallen off the bandwagon or gone somewhere, and seeing that maybe it was just Shakti taking us somewhere so we wouldn't go somewhere else, or, you know, to learn something and come back and renew our vows and start again, and not to beat ourselves up for it. And I think that's a really huge one in the West. Women particularly, you know. And Ma, I see Ma as a female guru, and she has, you know, a fairly established position here in this sort of monastic order. So she's recognized here, but she's not famous, you know, she's not famous in the West or anything. So she's, to me, I was talking about that with someone the other day, that I've seen Ma now for 10 years. And I can vouch from my own personal experience that Ma is, you know, a living example. She's a living example, and she can see things that we don't. and she's guiding us even when you don't feel like it's happening. And she embodies this mother power. And what is the mother? You know, everyone needs to ask that. The mother is that creative power. It's the embodiment of love, right? This unconditional love. And most of us think love is some sweet thing, you know, where the mother's there and it's all like this. But anyone who's been a mother will know that when you have children, your unconditional love can look like so many different things, right? It just means you're always there. You're always, you know, standing there behind, cheering your children on, no matter how difficult it gets for them. And to wrap them around the ear hole when it gets like messy. And this is unconditional love. You know, the cleaning process that a child goes through as a baby, the mother has to do this. It's not necessarily fun. And the cleaning process we have to go through on a spiritual path is not necessarily fun. But if you're clear on your goal and you know that you want truth, right? Truth to be that ultimate goal of how you want to direct your life. Then when things get a bit messy, it's not always easy to see it's your own stuff, you know, it's easy to project it out. And sometimes even on the guru or other people like that, you know, that you put it onto them. But really, the guru is like a mirror, giving you something, holding up something empty in front of you so you can see clearly who you are and how you're, where you need to go. And then it's your inner guru that then can reveal itself and start directing your life in a different way, you know, and really accessing that truth from within. So the guru gives you the knowledge, puts you on the path, and shows you, you know, like encourages you to find your own form of bhakti, devotion, and to do a daily meditation practice. And then it's like, okay, you know, you might be ready to walk the path on your own. You have to walk the path. No one's going to carry you. No mother can carry the child for very long. And the guru can't carry the initiates or the students for very long. So that empowerment, I really feel from Ma. I really felt her unconditional love, watching me, witnessing me go through all sorts of stuff, and feeling like I am coming out the other end, that the light is coming in the darkness, you know, and that the Guru Shakti, that knowledge, is revealing itself from within, and I can start to see myself and act in a better way from my own volition.
Wow. Yeah, what a blessing. Well, it's so special that you are on the ashram right now in India, and thinking maybe you can share some of the ashram with us. Tell us a little bit what
Okay.
it's like, or maybe give us a little tour if you're feeling up to
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now I'm in our meditation hall. And this is Ma's seat where she holds satsang. So I've just put this big picture up there. But normally Ma sits there, and this is the hall where people meditate, or they have meetings with Ma, or she gives satsang. Sometimes she gives satsang online for her followers, and she usually does it here in this room. So I'll just move outside of this room. And outside we have a very iconic temple because it's a Shakti temple. And on the roof, it's 108 foot high. So the statue on the roof is, it's a beautiful day today, is 108 foot high. So you can see it behind me there.
Yes.
So this is Durga Maa, or has different names, but most people would recognize the name Durga Maa. She's sitting on a tiger. She has many weapons. And for Navratri, which starts tomorrow, a lot of people will come and do their worship here and take blessings and, you know, take prasad and all this sort of thing. So we'll start to see a lot of people coming through in the next few days. And this is an ashram. If I go this way, behind me, which is probably about 30 or 40 years old here in a village outside of Haridwar. And I'll take you into the temple and just show you inside so that you get to also have darshan. Darshan means a sacred glimpse of the divine. You know, it might be here that you're seeing it inside, or it might be outside that you're witnessing the power through, you know, the in a temple or through your guru, or actually seeing the divine manifest before your eyes. So it depends on your level of devotion, what type of darshan you end up having. So maybe from here, can you see the ashram from here?
Yes, we're seeing some of the vines,
The
and
buildings.
looks like you're walking through some type of courtyard. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a vine above my head. It's an Ayurvedic thing. So they're cleaning in the temple. I said Navratri's coming, so
Okay.
they're up here cleaning. So you get to
Oh,
see the
wow.
preparations. So we have here Kali, Lakshmi, Saraswati, the three Shakti powers that run this universe. And here we have statues for Vishnu, Lakshmi, Krishna, Radha, baby Krishna, and then we have the main Ma. This is the main Ma Murti. Can you see that okay on the screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's sitting on a lion.
Wow.
And then we have Ganesh Ganapati,
Mm-hmm.
and then Kali Ma here, who is the power to give moksha, to give us that liberation. So that's the temple. So I'll say Jai Matadi, and thank you so much for hosting this, and I really look forward to seeing the other interviews and celebrating with everyone.
Yes, Jai Mata Di. Thank you so much,
Jai Mata.
Kadambari. Thank you.